taking the safety course, you guys talked a little bit about, or quite a bit about, state and local laws for different popular vacation rental destinations and how the municipalities are implementing safety requirements. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I added that to the top of the list because I don't think that that's something people are really that focused on. And I'm not really sure how these municipalities are actually communicating that to owners, if it's something they need to do before they get their license. So tell me a little bit about that. Tell me where people can go to find this information and what sort of things are the municipalities starting to require.
Yeah, you need to, if you're a host, you need to understand what's going on in the municipalities. And your town may have enacted some safety regulations already. Most towns, counties, cities in the United States, when it comes to safety, they turn to the local fire chief. And I was a firefighter for 15 years. I'm for firefighters. I don't have anything against them. But what I will tell you is firefighters don't know anything about safety in short-term rentals. They don't. And I challenge one to come in and do it. And recently the Baltimore Sun posted a picture of a firefighter installing free smoke alarms at rental homes, and he was installing it over the stove. I mean, it's common knowledge in international building code. You don't put a smoke alarm within 10 feet of a cooking device. It's going to go off and people are going to pull the batteries. And that really illustrates that point. So what typically happens when it comes to safety in a town is they go to the fire chief, have him come to the town meeting and say, hey, chief, what do you want on here? And he says, well, I want to make sure they have smoke alarms, CO alarms, and good egress. And that's great. But that's where only 3% of the accidents are happening, and that's where the regulations go in place. Then you have a city like Palm Springs, California. Most swimming pools anywhere in the world are in Palm Springs. They have a ton of safety regulations around pool installation, which is great. And they require electricians to inspect them, but they don't even require smoke alarms. And so they're having accidents that are related to that, not to the pool. So there's not a lot of smart thinking going on. And a lot of cities and towns, unfortunately, now are just copying the next city over. What did they do? They're being reactive to incidents. And in a lot of cases, they're being late. Some of you may have seen the post that I just did a couple of weeks ago on the fire in Malibu where a person died in a short-term rental. Malibu enacted regulations in October that just went into effect in January, 2 weeks before that rental burned down, that would have required it to have smoke alarms, and it didn't. One of the big things we're watching right now are statewide initiatives. Vermont has some of the strongest statewide initiatives when it comes to safety and on a state level, and it's very interesting to see what they're doing. In fact, I was watching some legislative meetings in Vermont this morning online, and they're putting some stuff in place that's probably more aggressive than a lot of places. It's good stuff. If we're not getting into requiring sprinkler systems in rental properties, that's too aggressive. That's going to put people out of business. But I firmly believe if we put smart safety regulations in place across the country when it comes to rental, stuff that you can do, fire extinguisher, smoke alarm, make sure your railing's the right height, your deck's been inspected, the grill's not too close to the house, you've got a fire pit inspection plan in place, stuff that's obtainable and easy without spending much money but keeps your guests safe. That's all going to roll downhill. It's going to get all the people who are not responsible out of this business that are causing us trouble. And those are the ones who are renting the houses for parties where the shootings are happening. Those are the people who don't do anything about parking outside that are causing parking issues in the neighborhood. And those are the people who don't care about trash pickup and have the neighbors all upset that the trash isn't getting taken care of. So I believe it all starts with safety. And I'm hopeful that I can convince more hosts to understand that when it comes to government regulations, you want to support smart safety regulations in your community. And it's going to help ensure that there's smart hosts that are going to be responsible, that really is good for all of us, because every accident that happens in a short-term rental goes against every one of us here and makes it much harder for us to do what we need to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, thank you.